If I asked you to describe what a farmer looks like, what would you begin with? You may tell me that he is a man, one who ventures into the fields every morning sporting a straw hat, whitewashed overalls, and a beard that hasn't felt the touch of a comb in years. He clutches his pitchfork and readies for the long day of work that lies ahead. This isn't the story of that weathered old man. This is the true American farm story of Tracy LaFleur, a woman who pursued her passions. Several years ago, Tracy was forced to ask herself questions that we all know too well. What would be her college major? What would she do with her life? While she may not have had definitive answers in that moment, she enjoyed French literature and thought to one day travel the world before becoming a teacher. It sounded like the perfect plan, but when Tracy began a work-study on the farm that supplied her university with food, everything changed. The work was simple, but the profound connection she felt to the land was much deeper than she could have ever imagined or explained. The more she worked, the more she knew that agriculture was her path. Despite harsh conditions or strenuous labor, her mind and heart felt at peace when she worked outside. Soon, simple work transformed into great aspirations as she dreamed of one day having a farm of her own. With her goals in mind and her work cut out for her, Tracy began paving the road towards making her dream come true, graduating with a degree in sustainable agriculture and continuing to work on the farm where she did her work study. She felt that by pursuing her passions, she was also empowering others to pursue their own. A woman doing difficult physical work seemed activist to me, Tracy said. It is as much challenging as it is rewarding. Answer again. What does a farmer look like? A young woman, working with her hands, maybe still occasionally wearing those overalls, but no longer clutching a pitchfork. Instead, both hands hold on to her dreams. Sometime after graduation, Tracy was led to visit North Carolina. Once again, she immediately felt an irresistible connection to the land. But this time, she was also drawn in by the people. Before she knew it, this was her new home, and she was working on Fickle Creek Farm. Since discovering her passion, Tracy has experienced incredible fulfillment. But fulfillment wants for company. 5 years ago, she found the perfect companion when she married her best friend, Rob Van Velde. Before meeting Tracy, Rob was a distribution manager for the Independent Weekly, a printer, and most importantly to him, a musician. In the 1970s and 80s, Rob toured all over the eastern seaboard of the United States with his band, Ninengi, jamming out on the gut bucket bass while his band accompanied him with various other American folk instruments. Through his music, Rob brought people together from all walks of life, but he didn't know that one day the same music would bring him together with the love of his life. Since childhood, Tracy has played both the fiddle and guitar. A mutual friend who is invested in the music world brought her and Rob together to play. Her talents are innate, Rob explained, which is why I knew she could be in our band. Rob and Tracy were separated by many years before the timelessness of music brought them together. When they look into each other's eyes, their hearts beat to the sounds of folk music, which happens to be that of love. Together, they form their own little family. They love with devotion and passion, inspiring each other to look toward the future, not with dread, but with excitement. They can achieve anything. With the bond of music holding them together, they have pushed and supported each other in pursuing their own goals, including when Rob convinced Tracy to finally begin her own produce business. The state of North Carolina offers a program for local farmers to rent a farm for a low sum until the farmer is able to develop a small business of their own. 3 years ago, Tracy took advantage of that opportunity and created their own farming company, Sugar Hill Produce. This marked the first tangible step toward achieving her dream. As soon as they received their plot of land, they began to work day in and day out to cultivate a great harvest for their local community, investing every resource at their disposal into their humble holding. Despite the demanding nature of farming, they continue to have the most fun with the work that comes their way. The price of their success may have been their blood, sweat, and tears, but it would all be worth it in the end. The payoff came 3 years ago on a Saturday morning at the Greensboro Curbside Farmers Market, a day that would symbolize the culmination of their hard efforts. Tracy stood proudly at her small wooden stand. She was finally the one responsible for providing for her community of Hillsboro. On this same Saturday morning, Rob stood at his own stand in the Hillsboro-Eno River Farmers Market, filled with the same pride that Tracy felt just a few towns over. Yet again, he found himself at the epicenter of a community that bonded itself over a shared passion. Several months ago, Tracy and Rob had finally saved up enough money to purchase their first plot of land, a 40-acre property adorned by a long-abandoned greenhouse. A dream realized. Picking up and moving their entire life 7 miles down the hilly roads of North Carolina is a daunting task. Responsibilities become heavier as the future looms. However, the feeling of having accomplished a long-desired goal lightens the heavy weight of uncertainty. Walking side by side, Tracy and Rob feel ready to face any challenges that lie ahead. I'll ask one last time. What does a farmer look like? A farmer is a person with passion, one who provides for the community, one who finds pleasure in simple things in life. Most of all, one who has love to give to the world around them.